Okay, today we are playing a game on Eichenwald. The average SR of this game was 807, and we will be playing roughly half of the game as Reaper and roughly half of the game as Soldier, and our current team composition is Reinhardt, Zarya, Genji, Reaper, Ana, and Mercy. Now, the Doomfist patch came out today, so unsurprisingly, this game is pre-Doomfist patch, so Reinhardt currently still doesn't function correctly, and Zarya does not yet have the best ultimate in the entire game. So, this team is technically bad for this period in time because we have a Reinhardt instead of a D.Va or a Winston. But this would now be completely fine because finally Reinhardt fucking works correctly. It's been 3,000 years, but we finally made it. We can finally swing the hammer and it won't just phase through the person's body. It's incredible. So I'm totally fine with it. Reaper also, sick hero. Love Reaper. Great times. If they have a Torbjorn or a Symmetra or Bastion, it's probably going to be kind of hard for us to deal with it because we don't have a Winston or something like that for the Symmetra, and Symmetra will fuck Genji's day up right proper. And Torbjorn and Bastion, assuming they were playing correctly, would be very hard for us to actually get to as Reaper and Genji. But we're in light bronze, so it doesn't even matter, because people probably don't know how to play their heroes correctly anyway. So let's start the game. We're attacking first as Reaper. If you could provide some insight into the opening part of this game, I'm kind of curious about the start of this team chat, because because I can't hear what you're saying in this video. People in the team chat are talking about somebody having 8,000 of something, and the Genji's like, is that even possible? I can only assume this is about some kind of stat. And there are some stats where 8,000 would be pretty depressing, or actually impossible. So, I'm curious as to what everyone was talking about. If you could provide further insight, I would appreciate it. We're playing Reaper. Reinhardt, he's not allowed to be doing this right now. This is a very illegal maneuver to be standing in this room as the defending team. You see Reinhardt doing this, you just press up into that guy's face and you start shooting at him. Because we're playing Reaper. We're really good at killing tanks. He does, in fact, just charge right in and manages to get the pin on us and kills us. Even though we're in the middle of like 4 people as well, we're the one that got pinned. Feels bad, man. You see a Reinhardt, you see a tank that's out of position, and you're playing Reaper, you just press into that guy and shoot him, and you will kill him. And you got lifesteal now, there's like no tank in the game that can fight you off, really, except D.Va, but you'll probably still break D.Va's mech, if nothing else. D.Va's really inconvenient for Reaper, but it's not like the end of the world. Unless you like ult right next to D.Va and she's still in her mech, then it's the actual end of the world. So we don't really need to play so tentatively right now because we see Soldier in this doorway. There's no one else here. This is like our chance to get in the back door because everybody's like over here. They're like fighting. We just like press in further. We just like poke forward, look over here. If we see just, like, these guys, we can just come over here and start fighting them. If it turns out the whole team is just, like, waiting around this corner for us to show up, we just go this way, and then we start, like, fighting over here. And we're playing Reaper. We've got plenty to work with because we've got Wraith Form, and there's a lot of health kits back here for us to go and collect. And we've got Lifesteal. Reaper is pretty good at fighting like, 1 or 2 people. Well, more like 1 to 3 people behind the enemy team, depending on how good they are. You can, like, fight them pretty easily, and Eichenwald's got a lot of health kits for us to work with. So this is our chance to get in the door and start trying to get some work done. But we don't really take it. Here's Roadhog. We start backing away from the Roadhog. Honestly, like, these days, if Roadhog hooks you, he's kind of, like, actively trying to kill himself, because you can just... He's usually not going to do enough damage to you to really worry about it, and you can just start life-stealing off of his big, bulbous belly. You like the alliteration on that one? Good job, me. I'm a master of the English language. So, we start Wraith forming away from him. Fair enough, whatever. But then we start coming back in. Don't go in with Wraith form. Ever. There's there is like a 0.1% situation where going in with Wraith Form is the correct play, and it's because you have to contest the point or you're gonna lose. If you're gonna Wraith Form away from a guy, just Wraith Form away from the guy. Don't go back into him, because Wraith Form is your escape. It's not your engage. So if you're gonna Wraith Form, you can probably just start shooting the guy, and you'll probably lifesteal enough off of him that he's not gonna kill you. So you probably don't need to Wraith Form away anyway. But if you choose to do that, fine, just actually leave. Don't go back in again. Fight's still gone well over here, though, as we can see. Reinhardt's just killed 3 people with his ultimate, so great stuff. Anna just threw a grenade at Widowmaker, not Mercy, Widowmaker, and now she's dead. That's happening. Just use Wraith Form. Even if you think the barrage is far enough away that it's not going to kill you, it's one of those ultimates that's not really worth taking the chance on. It's one of the, if it's coming at you and it's happening, you just push Wraith Form. There's a lot of, like, fighting in illegal positions that happens in this game. This whole situation right here, this is not okay for the enemy team to be doing this. You don't attack the defending, let's try that one again. The defending team does not stand in this area in polite company. It's just not okay. We also stand up here when we're defending, by the way. So, it's a bronze game. So, don't go after this guy. Like, okay, don't go after that guy. You see Mercy right here. Get the Mercy. Mercy just tried to pushed her way past you. Turn around, shoot Mercy, kill Mercy. She's more important than Roadhog. If you're gonna go for the Roadhog, just get up in that guy's face and start shooting him. You're playing Reaper. You can't fuck around. There's no poking at people from, like, mid-range. There's no, like, feeling it out footsies or anything like that. You gotta commit. If you're gonna start shooting at a guy, you get in that guy's face and you start shooting him. If you're playing Reaper, you gotta be ready to go up there and start pushing people around. Because Reaper is a big old bully of a hero. You go up there, you bully those people around. Doesn't even really matter who it is. You start bullying that person around. And if you think to yourself, oh shit, things are getting a bit hairy right now, you just Wraith Form away from them. And that will, more often than not, get you to safety. So, if you're gonna go for the Roadhog, go for the Roadhog. Get him. Put your shotgun in his mouth and start pulling the trigger. So, we got a Pharah floating around. This is very inconvenient for us, of course. We are playing Reaper. Not much you can do about Pharah unless she really fucks up. Or you're in an unusual position. Sometimes you'll be, like, up on the high ground, and the Pharah is gonna shift right past you, and then you get to just, like, shoot her out of the sky. But that's fairly rare. So Pharah, one of the only people Reaper can't just bully around. The other ones are like, Tracer and Genji. They're just hard to hit. Everybody else, Reaper can bully them around. So, Soldier is using Tac Visor right now. And, we don't try and figure out where he is, really. We just keep looking straight ahead of us. What I'll say in general, look around more. Awareness, very, very important. Especially Reaper. He's a pretty slow, methodical hero, really. He's not, you can't sort of wing it like, Tracer and Genji can because they have a lot of mobility. Reaper, you have to be, like, aware of things that are around you more. So just in general, look around more because we don't do a lot of, like, looking around. Every few seconds, just spin around, like, where's team? Where's enemy? You want to know where everyone is. So we decide to ult right here. Fair enough. Would probably do the exact same thing. Oh god, we just got smacked in the face. Pretty sure we're gonna get rezzed. Do we get rezzed here? No, we don't get rezzed here. Oh, disaster. Yeah, I would have probably also used my ultimate right there. And then we got, barraged. And then Reinhardt just smacked us when he had like 2 hit points left. Feels bad, man. It's gonna happen. So, Pharah tends to, fuck with Reaper's groove a little bit. So again, we're not like looking around right now. Pharah's actually shooting at us. I can hear her shooting at us. And we don't ever look around to try and figure out where she is. That's kind of important information. So Anna's been up here by herself the entire time, which is pretty incredible that she isn't actually already dead. So, we're pretty in right now. Oh god, just Wraith form sooner than that, honestly. Like, right here, this is the point where you're pretty fucked. I mean, you try and get the shot in on the soldier, you know, maybe you can kill him, I guess. But that's kind of scary, and then we end up Wraith forming away with 25 hit points. Drop kind of into the danger zone. Danger zone? Don't stand around in the open when you've only got, like 50 hit points. When you got, like, less than 100 hit points, don't just stand around out in the open like this, because if someone sneezes at you, you're gonna die. You're waiting for people to heal you, just, like, get out of the way. Don't stand out in the open. Go find a health kit if you have to. So, Reinhardt's been nano boosted, he's going in. Oh god, everybody got rezzed. Do not do that. You're doing nothing to that Widowmaker. That's not your area at all. Instead, what you do, you go up to that Reinhardt, you put your shotgun in his face, and you start pulling the trigger. Reinhardt can't do shit to you, as long as you commit fully to it. Reinhardt used to be able to beat a Reaper to death. This is not true anymore, because now Reaper life steals off of you too much to actually beat him to death. So, just go start shooting the Reinhardt. Don't you worry about that Widowmaker, that's not your area. Now there's other people over here. Again, we're being apprehensive in this battle. We're not committing to someone. You find the person that you think is your highest priority, which is usually going to be a support if you can get in range of them, or a DPS. If not, start bullying tanks. You pick the most important person you see that you can get to, and you get up in that person's grill, and you start shooting them. You gotta commit to it. There's no fucking around with Reaper. You commit or you don't commit. So don't do this like, oh, sitting back, shooting at them from like, you know, kind of mid-close range. No. Get right in their face. Shoot them. Full body. Get them. Meat shot right into them. That's the hero you're playing. You can't play it apprehensively. Reinhardt, now don't back up from the Reinhardt. Just get into him. Even if he hits you once, whatever, you're gonna heal all that damage off of one shot. Don't worry about it. Get in there and kill that dude as quickly as possible. So what we do there is a little bit spooky, but it's pretty subtle. So we're coming up to try and shoot the Pharah because she's kind of close to the ground, but then we keep going after she's gotten out of range. We're walking right next to an edge and there's a wall behind us. It's the easiest boop in the entire history of the world. But she doesn't boop us off, so we don't get punished for it. We did give her the opportunity to just, like, knock us off the ledge and kill her right there. So, we are standing on the payload right now because we're pushing it forward. That's fair enough. Reaper is a quite versatile hero in that he can be a frontline fighter or he can be a flanker depending on what you need. We've got a Genji as our other DPS right now, so we're just sitting up with the majority of our team basically, which is fine. So this, I don't know what the plan is. I guess it's to try and teleport behind them and flank them. Dog, there's a fight happening right next to you. Dog, there's... like, this fight's been happening next to you for a couple seconds, and you're just, like, tunnel-visioned on making this teleport work out. Alright, first off, you don't even really need to use the teleport, because if you're gonna try and pull it... because there's no point going to the chandelier, because you don't have your ultimate, so there's no reason to be up there. You don't need to teleport all the way back there, because this door takes you there. You go through here, and you just go like that, and then you're there. You don't even need to use the teleport. But more to the point, there's a fucking fight happening right next to you. Like, deal with that. Go kill that Reinhardt, because that Reinhardt just performed an illegal maneuver and charged into your entire team, and you're playing Reaper. You go kill that dude for that mistake. Anna, who even... she's gone on a truly magical journey to end up where she was. I don't even want to know why she was there. It would ruin the mystery. So, we have almost got Death Blossom built up again. That's kind of cool. We're gonna change to, Soldier in the near future. Here's where see, this is the thing. Our Wraith form is down because we've used it to get here quicker. If you can Wraith form to get back to the front line quicker, but you do it as soon as you spawn. Because that way, you get, like, the slight movement speed boost. But you'll get, by the time you get there, it's already gonna be back up again. Use it here, you're not gonna have it back up again by the time you get to the fight. This is too close to do this. Also, if you're gonna do that, just teleport across the bridge. Right, like, There's no need to do it. You can teleport across the bridge. If you're gonna Wraith form out of the spawn, so that you get it back in time by the time you get back to the fight. Now you're going in without Wraith form. That's not okay to do. Reaper, he can't do this, because Reaper is a very slow, methodical hero. You can't just, like, go in and then recall out. You can't like, dash in, dash out. You can't blink away. Wraith form is all you got. If you ain't got Wraith form, you've got to be real careful about what you're doing. Like, as soon as you get shot once by Hanzo, that's when you Wraith form out. But we didn't have our Wraith form up because we used it to get across the bridge, which we didn't need to do. Then we got shot by Hanzo right around the corner right there, and that feels bad, man. It's gonna happen. So here's what we changed to Soldier. We dropped Death Blossom to do it, basically, which, I mean, Death Blossom's not, like, the greatest ultimate in the entire world, so it's not the end of the world. That was a really good sentence. Used world, like, 3 times in the same sentence. Good stuff. So, we're chasing after this Mercy right now. There's a McCree behind us right now. I can hear him behind us, shooting at us and rolling around. We don't have a McCree on our team, so you turn around and start shooting that McCree. More to the point as well, we are also starting to run right past the fight when we do this. Mercy's boosting someone in there. We want to kill the Mercy, that's fair enough. So we're trying to kill the Mercy. But you do know that you passed a fight. So as soon as the Mercy's dead, you turn around and start helping with that fight again, because now there's, like, people behind you, which is not good. You want those people dead. And then it takes us a while to, like, realize they're there. The McCree, like, really fucks it up and throws his flashbang at you when you got the Zarya bubble on you, so it all works out, but I just turn around and start helping with that. So, here's a general thing with Soldier, also, where you don't wanna... Basically, we don't want to be as close as we are the entire time from this game. We're basically always standing too close to them. We are, like, running after the Mercy right now. You don't generally want to be running into the person that you're shooting at, but it's also Mercy, so it's not like she's going to do that much. But you don't really want to be standing all this far up, usually. We've walked past a fight, which is not generally good practice either, but we were chasing a Mercy, so I imagine most people would have done something fairly similar. Now, however, there's a Hanzo right next to us, because he just shot an arrow right in front of our face, and it managed to not kill us miraculously. So, right now, put your biotic field down, because you're mostly dead. 53 hit points. Put the biotic field down. You don't want to be walking around below 100 hit points, and you've got a heal right there that you didn't use. And then, like, this might have killed you anyway, but basically, like, 2 ticks off the Dragon Strike kill you, which could have been avoided if we had more HP. Just, like, use your biotic field. If you're in a fight, put the biotic field down. We ended up in a kind of unusual position where, like, there was a Reinhardt behind us. There's also the train of thought that's, like, when the Reinhardt fight is happening and we're looking at him, you just, like, sprint past the Reinhardt to get, like, back behind your own team, because you want to be in your team's backline, because Soldier wants to be as far away from people as possible. All irrelevant. We run the round regardless anyway. So, let's skip forward. We're going to play Soldier for the entire rest of this game. So we're going to see some very illegal maneuvers right now. I'll warn you, if you are above Bronze SR and prone to tilting, it's going to happen, because God is none of this is legal at all. So, we're already standing too far. As soon as the round has started, we're standing too far up. Now, our team is going to kind of encourage this out of us because they're going to go really far. And that generally means you're going to have to stand too far up as well. But, right now, we can be standing further back. We want to be standing as far back as possible. If you're on Eichenwald and you're defending, you want to be, like, on the other end of the street, back by, like, the car that's got the Bastion unit smushed up against the, lamppost. You want to stand back by that car. Because you can see all of this area still, like, you can still see all the way up to, like, there, and then the wall starts cutting you off, but you are infinitely safer. There's no way you die back there unless a Pharah or a sniper just, like, pulls off a sick trick shot and kills you. Right here, like, Reaper pushes through the doorway and, like, shoots you in the face, you die. Dive Comp just, like, rolls around here and dives on you. You're not going to be very happy about it because you're playing Soldier. Soldier is at his weakest when the enemy is point blank on him. Soldier, we've gone for a very sudden shift. When you're playing Reaper, you want to be up in the person's face as much as possible. There's no poking and prodding. There's no, you commit or you don't commit. Soldier, we want to be as far away from people as possible. We don't ever want somebody to close in on close range on us because that's where Soldier is at his weakest. Reaper, very close range hero. Soldier, mid to long range hero. You want to be as far back as you can possibly stand, preferably on high ground if possible, but Eichenwald doesn't allow for that, because there is no high ground, at least on the first checkpoint. And the third checkpoint, really, but you know. So, we just want to stand as far back as possible. Not so far back that your weapon is doing fall-off damage, but we want to be as far back as possible. It's fucking far away that you can stand before you start taking fall-off damage. So we want to be as far back as possible. Right now we're standing way too close, and this is going to be a recurring trend as we play Soldier. We are always standing too close. So Reinhardt performing a very illegal maneuver right now, as we can see. He's just charged off towards the enemy spawn. Not okay. He's left the choke point. You don't leave the choke point ever. That's where we base all of our defenses around. He's now fucking dead, as he should be. So don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to try and push through this Reinhardt shield because you're not playing Reaper, you're playing Soldier. If you're still playing Reaper, by all means, walk through this guy's shield and shoot him in the fucking face. And they're very from away if you have to. You're not allowed to do that because you're playing Soldier now. And his whole team is over there. You shouldn't even be close enough to even consider doing that. You should be way far back. Don't go out of the choke point. Don't walk through the Orissa's shield either. There's no reason to. You can shoot at all of these people still while standing behind the shield. Don't go through it. Don't go through the shit. No. Oh, what did we just talk about? It's not okay to do this. It's not okay to do that. We don't die. We should die. We should have died like 4 times. It's not okay to do that. You don't ever go out of the choke point unless you're playing Tracer or Genji, which you're probably not doing on defense in most cases. I mean, you might be these days, but unless you're playing Tracer or Genji, you don't go out of the choke point. Sometimes if you're playing Reaper, you go out and kind of far and you can Wraith form back. But if you're not a flanking hero, you don't ever go out of the choke point. We're gonna go out of the choke point again, by the way. So there goes Reinhardt, still performing vastly illegal maneuvers. None of this is all very not okay to be happening. Don't do that. Don't walk through the shields. I know you want this dude. This dude isn't for you to have. And because you walk through the shield and out of the choke point, you just get picked off by him and the Widowmaker. It's not okay. We're already too close. Don't go even closer to them, because then you're just way, way too close. So we see in the kill feed up there that they now have a Bastion. This is important information. He's also just killed both of our tanks, which is bad news. But we now know they have a Bastion. It's important to know they have a Bastion, because if you don't know they have a Bastion and you run blindly around a corner, you get shredded. We are one of the best people on our team to kill a Bastion. So we don't want to be standing right here right now. We already didn't want to be standing in the choke point. Now we don't even have a tank to stand up here with us, because both of our tanks are dead right now. So we should definitely not be standing this far up. And, oh god, we're doing it again. But this time we got punished for it because there's some justice in the world. It's not okay. We don't want to be standing in the bridge. Definitely don't want to go through the bridge. So, now we gotta come back again. We've almost got Tac Visor built up, which is cool. I think Junkrai killed their Bastion, and that's kind of like what stalled them out. I was busy being like, oh god. So we're running forward over here because somebody's in here. There's Reaper. Reaper's dead now. We put a biotic field down. Supercharger's over there, which is cool. 50% damage boost is always nice. Fun fact about Orissa's Supercharger. Does not stack with Mercy's damage boost. Does stack with Ana's Nano boost. This is not really important information. It's just, I think that's very interesting. I guess the reason being is, cause, I mean, they both are the same damage boost. It's just that, Mercy can, actually, no, they nerfed Mercy's damage boost, didn't they? Right. I guess the reason being, if you were the Ana and nano boosted somebody right before Orisa put the supercharger down, if it didn't stack, that'd feel fucking terrible. Mercy can just change to a different person, right? I just think that's very interesting that it works with Ana, but not Mercy. So yeah, so we're shooting a Widowmaker right now. Like, Reinhardt's left us behind, which is very sad, because we'd very much like to just be able to stand behind the Reinhardt shield while we're doing this. But while Reinhardt's here, you don't need to be juking back and forth, and you're actually exposing yourself, because you can just stand behind Reinhardt's shield, and that's fine, but then we come out of the Reinhardt shield. While Reinhardt was there, we could have just been standing behind Reinhardt's shield. We don't need to be juking back and forth. We actually gave her a slight extra opportunity to kill us. Which, when you're dealing with somebody that can kill you in one shot, don't want to give him any extra chances. So there's Reaper over there. We did actually hear Reaper. I've muted the fucking video because I'm a dumbass. God damn it. Hold on. The video resolution's a little fucked up. It's still on YouTube. Ah, too loud. Oh, God. The 12-year-old was suddenly deafeningly loud. We hear Reaper. Right there. Reaper's finally quieter now when he uses his teleport, which is fantastic news, because Jesus Christ, is he the loudest motherfucker on the planet. Also, right, yeah, you all seen the new Overwatch comic, the Masquerade one? Did anyone notice that Sombra is wearing an outfit that's covered in bells? And she's a stealth character? Think about that. She uncloaks right behind you. We fucking know, Sombra. Thank you. It's just, it doesn't seem like a very smart decision to me. Also, Reaper, I can't wait for that Reaper skin. It's gonna be sick, man. As if Reaper didn't already have enough good skins as it is. He's got nothing but good skins. Now, tell me a Reaper skin that isn't good. You can't do it. The worst is Plague Doctor, and it's still pretty good. Conversely, Doomfist has no good skins, which is very sad news. Anyway, the video game that we're currently playing. A lot of tangents, just like back to back to back to back. God damn. So, Reaper's in here. Don't walk into the Reaper. Reaper, like, you're going into Reaper's zone. Like, you want to get rid of this guy. Do not poke your face into this room or even close to the doorway, because you're just coming closer to Reaper's zone. As we established earlier, Reaper only wants to be right in your face. Soldier wants to be real far away from the person. You don't ever, like, go in, you don't want to walk into people like Reaper or D.Va, because you're just going into their zone, and you don't want to do that. Reaper now, running away from us, and he's like, this is not okay for him to be doing. He killed Reinhardt before he died, which is very sad. He wasn't allowed to do that. Don't do that! Do not run right past a bastion, because that's how you get fucking shredded and killed. You're playing Soldier, you still want to be far away from this guy. You running into him like this does nothing extra. The idea is probably to get behind him to shoot his weak point. Don't do that. Just don't do that. You don't want to be walking into people that you're shooting at. You want to be as far away as possible. So we're coming back now. D.Va's been doing all this business over here. That's also not allowed. This is very funny to me, because Zenyatta's realized he's in an unfortunate position. He's trying very hard. He's trying so hard right now. Couldn't do it. Couldn't be done. He could not get out of the way enough. But by God did he try. So now, Lucio's there. Lucio's also dead now. Reaper's back again now. Don't walk into the Reaper right there. Don't go into the Reaper zone. You don't want to be doing that. You don't even really need to be standing where you're standing right now. Like, if the fight has moved up into this general location, if you're now fighting from the point rather than in the archway, you want to stand up here. Because this is like some of the only high ground you get on Eichenwald. So if you get the chance to use it, you use it. Because then you can see the whole area. It's very hard for people to get to you. You've got more cover, because you can just walk back and use the ground. High ground is fucking overpowered, as Master Obi-Wan Kenobi taught us. So if you can stand on high ground, if you're Soldier or McCree, and you can stand on high ground, go stand on that high ground, because you become infinitely harder to kill, and it becomes easier for you to kill them. High ground is very undervalued in this game. I jest not when I say that, like, Soldier and McCree players would be like 1 to 2 entire tiers higher if they just stood on the high ground at every opportunity. Because people undervalue high ground in this game. High ground is so strong. It's so strong. Go stand on that high ground right now. You're not going to go and stand on the high ground. We want to stand on the high ground. So Soldier's doing this back here. We start doing the thing where you interrupt your reload a bunch of times. Unless the one punch is going to kill the dude, just reload. And the one punch is not going to kill the dude. We are not Saitama. Just reload your gun and shoot at him. So we had to hide out of the way of that. Reaper's now, Reaper, fucking hell, D.Va's in a new mech right now. If Reaper could get into a mech, that'd be pretty spooky. They now have a Sombra. We've been hacked, which is unfortunate news. Oh, God, doesn't that feel bad? If we were standing up on the high ground, that wouldn't have happened, because we would have never been in a position to get killed by that Death Blossom. Because we had to be on the low ground for it to happen. That's all I'm saying. And then we could, like, mop up this fight with Tac Visor. Don't do this. This point's gone. Do not go and touch a point that is already gone. This point was already gone. This is tragic waste of life. Horrible use of company resources. Now we've been rezzed over here. This is an even worse use of company resources. So now we're going to do the thing that I was talking about earlier. This is just not okay. This is not fine at all. We don't want to be fighting over, like, the enemy spawn is, like, right fucking there. It's right. I've pushed a fucking button. God damn it. I always do it. It always happens at least once. I will touch a button and do this. Like, we are right next to Defender's spot. It's right fucking there. This is not okay. If you're on a payload map, or a payload segment of a map, it's right fucking there. If you're on a payload segment, or a payload map, you do want to fight the enemy team as close to their spawn as possible, but you don't want to fight them actually outside of their spawn. Because, here's the reason, right? Suppose you kill somebody, right? Suppose you kill this Reaper. The second he comes out of his spawn, 10 seconds later he's back. Because all he's got to do is respawn, 10 seconds, walk out the gate, bam. He's back in the fight, 10 seconds. If you die outside of his spawn, it's going to take you 30 or 40 seconds to get all the way back. If you got good mobility, it'll take you like 20 seconds. It's not, and on some maps, like if it's on King's Row, it takes you like a minute to get back. It takes you if you die on like Numbani or King's Row Street Phase, it takes you so long to get back. That's why those points are so hard to defend. Go play a hero that has no mobility at all. Go play Orisa and just walk from the second spawn point on King's Row back to the start of the checkpoint. It takes like 40 to 60 seconds. It's insane. It's not a good trade, because like if you're outside of their spawn, chances are you're gonna die. Like, there are gonna be times the enemy team is too bad to actually fend you off, but you should die for doing this. If you kill them outside their spawn, they don't lose anything. You don't gain anything for doing that, because just 10 seconds later, they're back. But if you die, it's incredibly punishing to die this close to their spawn, because it takes you so long to get back. It's not worth the risk. When you're defending on any map at all, we're always looking for the best choke point on that route, and we're going to base our defense around it. Like, payload might as well just be checkpoints. I mean, it is, obviously, but it might as well just be like control point, because there are just set points where we fight, and that's basically it. Like, on Dorado is a very, very straightforward example of that, so we're just going to say that. You don't want to fight, like, outside their spawn. We wait for them to push up to the archway, and then we fight around the archway, because that's a fucking severe choke point, right? That's one of the hardest choke points in the game to get through. If you die outside of their spawn on Dorado, you never get to use it, because they just push it right back before you can get back in time to fight there. So we just fight at the choke point. And then if they get it through that choke point, we've still got time to get back and fight them before they get to the end of the end of that checkpoint. We've got time for one more fight if we get wiped. Then, second checkpoint, we fight them at the first corner, because we're not fighting them outside their spawn at that point. They actually have to walk back to that area, but it's still very early along in the checkpoint. So we fight them there. If we get wiped up there as the defending team, we've got time to get back and fight them again when they're in the bridge on that checkpoint. So that's basically what we're always trying to do. We don't want to fight them outside their spawn. We're looking for the best choke point on the route, and we're going to base our defense all around it. I did make an entire series of videos for every single map in the game, minus Horizon, because it still was relatively new, and I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. There's one for every other map in the game, except Horizon. So if you're curious, I go into much further detail about this concept in like all of those videos. So if you want to know more, go watch those. There's a playlist. But yeah, we don't want to ever be doing what we're doing right here, basically. So we're going to walk into this Reaper zone right here. This is not okay. This is already not okay, but then we walk right into Reaper's zone. Reaper wants us to be right on top of him. We want to be as far away from people as possible. We're at our weakest when people are right on top of us, so we don't go after the Reaper. We wait for him to come into our zone. We don't go into his zone. So this is also one of the only checkpoints where you get to take advantage of high ground, because you can stand on top of the castle. However, our team is deciding that we want to fight up here. This is not okay, but this is what is happening. We're even going to use Tac Visor up here. Here's the thing. We use Tac Visor. We kill all of these people. 10 seconds, they're back. Bam. Not really a good use of an ultimate. You know, you trade an entire ultimate to get 10 seconds of reprieve from another hero. It doesn't seem worth it to me. So Sombra's doing this. That was a very bad use of her Emp, but now Soldier is using his Tac Visor, and now that's happening also. They used a lot of ultimates, but they actually killed us. This has not been okay. This has not been a legal maneuver at any point in time. So, now we can try and take advantage of the high ground on this map, because they are going to push it forward. Just go upstairs. No, don't, go upstairs. Go upstairs, because that's high ground, and just look down at these fools and shoot them from the top of your castle, where it is incredibly difficult to get to you, because it's so fucking high up. And you can just look down at these fools and, like, shoot them in the head, and it's so hard for them to shoot back at you. It's hard to aim straight up. It's quite easy to aim, like, downwards. So just go stand, like, what are we doing right here? What are we doing? We're coming up into these people's zones. We don't want to be here. We want to be up on that high ground as far away, just, like, pressuring the entire area. Because there's, like, the concept of a zone of threat, right? Reaper's zone of threat, basically point blank. Reinhardt's zone of threat, the range of his hammer. Soldier's zone of threat is his entire line of sight. So, when you're playing Soldier, the best thing you can do is try and have the widest line of sight possible, because then you threaten that entire area. If you're just like point blank on these fools, your line of sight is incredibly small, and you're getting closer to people's zone of threats like Reaper and Reinhardt. You want to be as far away. The ideal is that you get the enemy into your zone of threat, and you never even go close to their zone of threat. Which for Soldier is generally quite easy, because most heroes have fairly small zone of threat. Whereas Soldier is very long range. He's not quite a sniper. I mean, he's not quite Widowmaker, because Hanzo isn't really a sniper. He's categorized as a sniper, but Hanzo is really like a mid-range fighter. He's not really a sniper. He's just categorized as such. Like, Ana is also categorized as a sniper, but does anybody really consider her to be one? No, not really. Widowmaker's our only actual sniper. So he's not Widowmaker. Doesn't want to be quite that far away, but you do want to be far away. We could just, like, you know, we could be standing over on that bridge right now shooting at these fools, and, like, why are we standing on the point? We don't need to be standing on the point. This isn't our job to stand on the point. This is our tank's job to come and stand on the point. Right? Reinhardt and Orisa are the ones that are meant to be standing on the objective. We're meant to be standing off the objective, threatening it. Which, you know, not really what's happening right now. We're coming into people's zones. We don't want to be in people's zones. We're far away from zones. We won the game anyway. It doesn't even matter. Easy money. Do we see the play of the game in this replay? Yeah, we do. We see it. It's also quite incredible how everybody in the voice chat is like 12 years old. I don't know if you are, because we can't hear you. Sorry if you're 12. But, like, these guys are like your typical, like, God, it's just like being back on the days of Xbox Live. I say back in the days of as if it doesn't still exist. So it's Mercy, whose name is Golden Bullet, which is, you know, funny. Oh, we don't watch it. Oh, sad days. I mean, we can roughly imagine what happened. So, biggest things in this game. You're playing Reaper. Commit. You gotta commit. Reaper's not a hero for the faint of heart because you gotta go in and fight fools. You gotta go in there and start bullying them. And if you get in trouble, you Wraith form away, and it's probably gonna get you back to safety. Unless you're just like way too deep into the enemy team, then it's not gonna get you to safety. But you might just fight them off if not enough people actually come to stop you anyway. Reaper's an awesome hero. I love Reaper. Don't use Wraith form to go in, like, don't use it to, close gap, like, don't use it to get back to the fight quicker unless you're gonna use it, like, literally the second you spawn. Because then you can get out of the spawn quicker and it's gonna be back up by the time you actually get to the fight. Don't use it to, like, get across the bridge on Eichenwald, because then it's not gonna be up in time by the time you get to the fight. And you need it, because it's your escape. That's also the important thing to remember with Wraith form. Doesn't really come up in this game, but Wraith form is your escape. It's not your engage. So don't go in with Wraith form, ever. Unless you have to contest the point in overtime. That's the only time. It's your escape, not your engage. Soldier, stand way further back. Soldier is a very long range. He's a mid to long range hero. You want to be as far away from possible, preferably on high ground if the map allows for it. Not all maps do, but quite a lot of them do. Yeah, and just try. It's so dependent on your team. Try to have your team not stand so far up, but that's very dependent on your team. There are just certain points on every map that are the best places to defend from. Got whole series of videos about that. I'm not going to go into super detail about it, but like there are places to defend on that are just like the best places to defend from. You don't want to ever be fighting outside of their spawn. If your team is standing too far up, you are going to have to stand too far up, but you want to be as close to where you should be as possible. You want to still be helping your team, but you don't have to stand as suicidally close as they are, right? So like, for example, if they're deciding that they're going to stand where they just did on Eichenwald, right? Right at their spawn. You can stand over by the big iron gate. And you are still very far away from the enemy team. And you're still not where you should be. But you're doing the best as you can. You're doing the best you can, given what your team is allowing you to do, right? So stand where as close to you should be as possible, while still helping your team if they're standing too far up. You don't have to go and die with them. But you do still have to help them. Those are like the biggest things. Like, it's, like the positioning is very, very important in this game. It's like easily the biggest thing that happened in this entire game. Like, Reaper as well can be a flanker or he can be a frontline DPS. We were in a position where being a frontline DPS is what we should be doing anyway, because our other hero was, our other DPS was Genji. But like, there's no half and half with Reaper. You're either in or you're not. You've got to go in on people. If you're Soldier, you don't want to ever be in. You always want to be as far away as possible. Those were the biggest things in this game. Yeah, those were like easily the biggest. Just positioning. Positioning is very, very important. It's the most clear. Everything else usually stems from that as well. So I worry about positioning. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.